Welcome to the Get Published podcast, sponsored by Brodie Consulting Group. To get more information about our coaching, publishing, executive ghostwriting, and podcast production services, go to getpublishedpodcast.com. Hello, I am Paul Brodie, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Get Published podcast, where we help authors get published with a proven system that works. Today, we're being joined by Christian Brown, author of the Positive Affirmation Guide. Christian, welcome to the show.
Hey, Paul. Thank you for having me on. I'm super excited and honored to be on your show.
Well, we are honored to have you. Are you ready to get started?
I am.
All right, my friend. Question number 1. What is the one piece of advice that you would give to a first-time author who is currently writing their book?
Sure. My advice would be to get started and make sure you finish. And also, don't be afraid to hire help, hire a team. I think that's something that a lot of people shy away from, getting help, if it's taking them too long to actually finish the book. Because starting is the first task, but finishing it is the most important, in my opinion.
And what do you feel is the hardest part about getting published?
I think deciding whether to go traditional or self-publishing is kind of a tough decision.
And then we were talking earlier, you went the self-publishing route, is that correct?
Yeah, I self-published. I went through some online videos on YouTube, literally, and that taught me how to do it, and I just followed it step by step and was able to get it up on Amazon, paperback, and Kindle.
Well, let's talk about marketing. So please share a marketing strategy that you have used in your book launch that has worked well.
Yeah, so one thing that I did was start a podcast. So I started a podcast about a month before I released my book, but throughout every episode, I mentioned that I was releasing a book, soon. And then once I released it, I made sure to talk about it every single, episode I released on my podcast, and that did well for me.
I like that strategy. So you created the launch, the podcast specifically to promote your book launch.
Not exactly. I launched it to interview different entrepreneurs, but I used it as a platform to promote my book as well.
Perfect. So were you talking about it every episode, or did you have like a call to action to promote it at the beginning or at the end?
Both. So at the beginning and end of the episode, I would just put my 2 cents in about the book, tell people where they could find it and where they could purchase it.
And then were you sharing any like tips and tricks or things like that about the journey? Or were you mainly going, hey, my book's going to come out, you can check it out on Amazon, or you can check it out on my website? Which approach did you take with that?
Yeah, so I took the website approach because I do have a personal website that I like people to buy from because I get more money from it. Whether than if it's purchased on Amazon, the royalty is kind of lower. So I sent people to my website or my social media and told them to buy from there.
And then with the books that you sold on your website, were you shipping those yourself? Were you using drop shipping? What was your strategy?
I was shipping myself. So I purchased about 100 copies when I first released. And so I just had them sitting at my house waiting for someone to purchase. And then whenever I ran out, I just purchased more and I took that method. And
were you autographing them for them as well, or just sending them out when the order was done?
Yeah, definitely autographing them. I sent a personal message to every person who purchased the book, and so that added a special touch to it as well. So I enjoyed doing that approach for that reason.
Yeah, it's a good strategy, especially if you're offering something on the back end, just sending that connection and realizing that you got a personalized autograph copy from you, the author. That's a pretty awesome strategy.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about your favorite book. So what is your favorite book, and what was the number one thing that you learned from it?
Yeah, so my favorite book is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And I literally read it about once a month or listen to it about once a month. And the number one thing that I learned from that is that if you want something bad enough, the universe will work in your favor to make it happen. And it is so real to me because I'm a big believer in positive affirmations. And so it is right in line with the whole message of that book.
And for a final question, what is your favorite quote and why?
Yeah, my favorite quote is, if you struggle to make a difference, you'll never struggle to make a dollar. And that's my favorite quote because it kind of forces you to create a deeper why, to why you're doing certain things. And I think if people do their work with the purpose of trying to make a difference rather than trying to make money, we'll be better off and more people will be impacted from it.
Absolutely. Well, Christian, I want to thank you for being a guest on the show. What is the best way for people to find you online?
Sure. So all social media, my tag name is Visionary CJ. And so that's the word visionary and then CEEJ. And so my website is visionarycj.com. And so the social media or my personal website, you can find me there and find my book and podcast.
Well, Christian, thank you once again for being on the show, and I wish you all the best in your author journey ahead.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it, man.
Thanks again for joining us today. To learn more about how you can be featured in our brand new Get Published business book, go to getpublishedpodcast.com.